Oh, it's great to be here at FPL again. I think I've been attending here now for the last 10 years, probably the last 10 years since it's been going, and I think what's always interesting to me is how there's like the involvement of topics, and this event in particular, I think the talk about digitization, drive for innovation has been really quite interesting. I think certainly at OpenFin we're big believers that there's massive change that still needs to take place in the industry, and particularly on traders' desktops, there's an opportunity to really drive a very different level of innovation and collaboration. With MiFID II and so many other things, OMAR and so on. There's lots of new tools that have been developed by all the vendors, many of whom are exhibiting here today, products and services that are built inside banks and brokerage firms, asset management firms. But the real question is, how do we make these proactively kind of work together for the end user to create a good outcome? We announced FTC3 last week on 8th of March. Really excited by FTC3 as a standard really for the financial desktop. I think one of the best ways to explain why FTC3 is important is very, very similar to what FIX protocol offered the industry over 20 years ago by allowing connectivity to take place, and really the acceleration of electronic trading to allow messages to be passed between institutions, asset managers, and across all the vendor platforms. That's very much on the server side of connectivity. So if I take a moment and think about mobile for a second and what happens on our phones, it's probably fitting to explain FTC3. So on our phones today, we take it for granted that we have a kind of calendar application, that it has an address. I can touch the address and up pops Google Maps. And then from Google Maps, I can see that I need to travel by car, and I can book an Uber directly from Google Maps and invoke the Uber application. And then once I'm on my journey, I can then message my friends directly from Uber using my message application to let them know where I am. So this is a very powerful operating system that's underneath in the form of iOS or Android on your phone that's allowing these applications built by different people to pass a message, a context and intent between these applications so they can talk together and give you a great user experience on your phone. So fast forward to FTC3. So OpenFin is the OS of finance and now on over 145,000 desktops. But there's lots of applications sitting on these desktops, and how do we bring that mobile experience to life on a trader's desktop or compliance officer or risk officer or whatever it may be? And to do that, we really need standards so that applications know how to talk to each other. If I say get chart, that my chart applications can be invoked automatically from one application to the other, just like an address context is passed from my calendar to my map application. So FTC3 standards will set the protocol for communication between desktop applications and truly transform trader workflows. So it's been really quite interesting for us in terms of how people have come together to think about this initiative and all of the possibilities, which are pretty endless in terms of how you can modify a desktop and workflow. So we're not just talking about new applications, we're talking about existing applications, be it market data terminals, chat applications, even down to things like Excel on a trader's desktop that can be interconnected. So if I was to give you an example, perhaps a client starts talking to a sales trader about a particular stock. The application, perhaps their order management system, can automatically sense the context that that particular client is talking about a stock and show you only those orders relevant to that client and that security in the order blotter. At the same time, simultaneous to that, my client analytics environment can be firing up and showing me all of the relevant information for that stock. We've been really, really impressed by the level of support for FTC3. The initiative was established back in October, and we have well over 20 firms participating in the initiative so far. Working groups meeting very regularly, and really from a very diverse set of firms, be it buy side, major banks, brokers and vendors from financial communication and data and so on. So I think this is a problem that people have readily identified with, a big opportunity to move forward to a more digital, proactive workstation. FTC3 standards the ability to create a standard protocol for these applications to know how to communicate with each other on the desktop is really important.